Solo Leveling Season 2, Episode 8 might just be the best episode of Solo Leveling so far, and not for the reasons you might expect. Hello everyone, I'm Finn, welcome back to Finn Films. You guys already know the drill by now. Today I'm going to be breaking down and explaining everything that happened in this week's episode of Solo Leveling Season 2, Episode 8. An episode where this flying bug kills hundreds of people, Jin-Woo starts his harem arc, and we see probably the best fight scene in Solo Leveling so far. So last time on Solo Leveling, Jin-Woo was declared the 10th S-ranked hunter in Korea, crashing the big PR party of the former Korean actor turned hunter Lee Min-sung. The Hunters Guild and White Tiger Guild try to recruit Jin-Woo, but he completely blows them off, as he wants to continue on in the Demon Realm portal to finally finish the Elixir of Life for his mother. Meanwhile, back in Korea, Jinho's father passes out and is diagnosed with having the Eternal Sleep Disease, the same disease that Jinwoo's mother has. As well, one of the flying S-ranked insects from Jeju Island made its way to a small Japanese coastal island, where it encountered a number of human hunters, setting up the Jeju Island arc. Episode 7 ending with Jin-Woo facing off against a number of demon knights. Episode 8 opens with Jin-Woo fighting this demonic knight, who, to our shock, is revealed to be a hot demonic woman named Esil, who is the eldest daughter of the Radaru demonic family, a noble demonic family that rules this floor of the demonic portal. Yep, you know what time it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's harem arc time. Jin-Woo spares her after she promises him to convince her father to give him the passage to the next floor. Meanwhile, back in the real world, the flying S-ranked insect has completely destroyed much of this tiny Japanese coastal island city, killing over 290 civilians until it was finally slain by an A-ranked Japanese hunter. Yeah, this was just the damage of one of these flying insects, so imagine what the entire colony of these insects could do if they somehow made their way to the mainland of Korea or Japan. This realization forcing the Korean Hunters Association to declare the 4th raid onto Jeju Island, as well as requesting help from the Japanese Hunter Association. If we remember back to the opening moments of Season 1 of Solo Leveling, we see that the Hunters Association of Korea has attempted a raid on Jeju Island a number of times. Jeju Island containing a S-ranked dungeon with all of these crazy strong bugs. And so far, over the last 10 plus years, the Korean Hunters Association has not been able to close this S-ranked dungeon. They've only been able to maintain it. Meanwhile, back in the portal, Jin-Woo is questioning our cute demonic girl, who reveals that they were transported to this realm randomly from the Demon Realm, seemingly by the system. In the Demon Realm, the demons were preparing for war with an extremely powerful enemy that forced all of demonkind to unite together. Foreshadowing anyone? Esil, the demon girl, finally crashing out and passing out, as the system seems to have prevented her from answering any more of Jin-Woo's questions. But once again, we are seeing that the cracks are beginning to form within the system, and more of this grand mystery of the system, the monsters and dungeons in the world of Solo Leveling, seem to slowly be revealed. Jin-Woo and Esil head to the Radaru family castle, where her father, terrified of Jin-Woo's power, agrees to give him the permit to move on to the next floor, as long as he spares them, to which Jin-Woo agrees. Jin-Woo, though, adds one more thing to this deal, saying that he is taking his daughter, he is taking Esil with him. This scene is hilarious because of the kind of connotations that come from what Jin-Woo is saying. Jin-Woo being completely oblivious to this fact, as well being completely oblivious to the fact that Esil, this demon girl, seemingly is completely smitten by him. Jin-Woo promising that he will protect her, but that he needs her to show him where the permits are on the next floor, so he takes her with him. The demon lord, her father, agreeing, as he knows that should Jin-Woo succeed in killing the demons of the upper floors, it will make his family the highest ranked demon lords alive. This character is very much the kind of comedic relief of this episode, this kind of teaser relationship between her and Jin-Woo, the fact that she is very much infatuated by him. Solo Leveling very much teasing kind of fan service-esque scenes, but to Solo Leveling's credit, they very much have avoided fan service up until this point, which is definitely saying something with anime nowadays. Jin-Woo tells her in this really funny scene that he likes her, and she completely loses her shit. Again, Esil throughout this episode is completely falling for Jin-Woo, and their relationship is very much a very humorous one. Meanwhile, back in Korea, we learn that all Korean S-Hunters are being summoned for the Jeju Island raid, as well as the largest guild in Japan, the Drawn Sword Guild. As the guild master of said guild, the S-ranked Japanese hunter Gyoto Ryuji comes to Korea to speak to the association. He tells them that 11 S-ranked hunters, including himself, will be participating in this raid, and that they will launch a full-out attack on the island to draw all of the ants out to them so that the Korean forces can take out the queen. These scenes very much setting up the next arc in Solo Leveling, the Jeju Island arc. Back in the portal, Jin-Woo has finally made it to the 100th floor, the top floor of the tower, where he faces arguably his toughest challenge yet in all of Solo Leveling so far, the Demon Monarch Baran, atop his blue-eyes white freaking dragon. Well, I mean, technically it's a wyvern, but whatever. The Demon Monarch summons an army of demonic minions, Jin-Woo wiping many of them out with his Monarch domain as he summons his Shadow Army to do battle with this army of demons. Tusk's massive fireball incinerates much of the demon army. The Demon Monarch then launches his own AoE attack, a massive lightning storm destroying many of Jin-Woo's shadows, Jin-Woo barely saving Esil in time. My dudes, find you a woman who looks at you like this demonic chick looks at our main character boy, Jin-Woo. Jin-Woo tries to use stealth to attack the airborne demonic lord, but the Monarch sees right through it, repelling his attacks. But with the combined powers of Egress and Tusk, Jin-Woo manages to cut the wyvern's head off, grounding the demonic Monarch. Jin-Woo in these scenes uttering the title of the episode, "Looking Up Was Tiring Me Out." The fight then continues on the ground, but the Demon Monarch begins to overwhelm our OP boy, destroying both Egress and Tusk, depleting Jin-Woo's mana. The two face off in one final action-packed series of animations and attacks, and to our shock, Jin-Woo finds himself on the edge of death in what is very much the toughest battle we've seen our boy face so far, as the Monarch powers up his lightning blast at point-blank range. Just when it seems like this is the end for Jin-Woo, our OP boy, Esil hit the Demon Monarch with her weapon, distracting him, giving Jin-Woo enough time to use his ruler hand ability and his massive amount of strength, which he has overleveled since Season 1, to rip the Demon Monarch's fucking arms off, hitting him with an uppercut that would make All Might proud, launching a massive mushroom cloud in the sky as he punches his fucking head off. Jin-Woo collapsing exhausted on the ground, finally having conquered this demonic dungeon as Episode 8 of Solo Leveling comes to an end. Man, oh man, if this wasn't the best episode of Solo Leveling so far, definitely the best episode of Season 2, probably the best episode of Solo Leveling since those crazy events of like the first two episodes all the way back in Solo Leveling Season 1, then I don't know what was. This episode really had it all. Not only did it have crazy fight scenes, as well as some pretty major plot reveals for the greater mysteries of Solo Leveling in the system, the monsters, this kind of greater threat that seems is loomed in the background, as well as revealing and teasing the upcoming Jeju Island arc, the next arc for Solo Leveling, which will be most likely the primary crux of Season 3 of Solo Leveling. And to top it all off, we got ourselves a cute demon girl who keen-eyed fans would have known it's been teased in the opening scenes of Season 2 of Solo Leveling in the kind of intro opening animation. I absolutely love this character, Esil. I find her freaking hilarious. You know, generally when, like, in anime like this, when you have kind of side female characters, they generally oftentimes are there as fan service. Now, obviously, there is a bit of kind of fan service teased in this episode, the relationship between this demonic girl, who obviously is kind of falling in love, is completely falling for our main OP character boy. That's definitely like a crux of their relationship, and it definitely plays into kind of the comedic moments of her character. But I very much love that Solo Leveling, at least so far, has very much shied away from fan service. What I do really love about this character, aside from the fact that she is hilarious, is how it's portraying, you know, this is the first character, the first monster in Solo Leveling so far that's really been portrayed as human. The fact that Jin-Woo, with his powers of the system, is able to communicate with the monsters of the dungeons in Solo Leveling. Jin-Woo very much going through his own kind of like monster, lack of humanity-esque arc since his massive glow-up. And it makes it really interesting that he is able to connect to these monsters, not only the fact that he is literally able to speak to them, but the fact that in this situation, he seemingly is able to befriend them. Jin-Woo very much earning her loyalty, earning her affection, the fact that he likes her, the fact that he is willing to save her and protect her. And it very much hints at a world where monsters and humans in the world of Solo Leveling necessarily don't have to be at odds. They can work together. This kind of idea very much throwing a wrench into like what everything we've been presented as far as like the relationship between monsters and humans and the gates in Solo Leveling so far, and I freaking love those kind of story themes. This very much as well links into the greater mysteries of Solo Leveling, the mysteries of the portals, the mysteries of the dungeons, the mysteries of the systems and the monsters. Why did these portals appear in the first place? Why do these monsters feel compelled to be summoned into these dungeons, into these portals? And we basically have it confirmed so far that the system seemingly is manipulating these monsters to do its bidding by telling them to either kill humans or defend this place in the case of the demons of the demonic realm that Jin-Woo enters. Seemingly there is something a lot bigger at play here that is going on as far as the system, and we needn't forget what happened and what Jin-Woo's father said early on in Season 2 of Solo Leveling. Jin-Woo's father talking about how he was basically granted another chance seemingly by the system, and how he was told to prepare and to fight a greater threat that is to appear. This greater threat very much seemingly sounding similar to the great threat that the demons were preparing for in the demonic world before they were suddenly summoned into these dungeons. There's a lot of major teasers, story mysteries, and teasers going on here in Solo Leveling. I've said this a number of times in these videos, but it very much reminds me of Attack on Titan and how Attack on Titan set up many of their mysteries and plot twists that occurred throughout the several seasons of Attack on Titan. Solo Leveling very much doing something similar here, and I really love that we are getting more and more answers, more and more teasers onto these greater mysteries of Solo Leveling as we finally see Jin-Woo basically complete his primary quest in this episode. As well as I said, these last couple of episodes have very much teased the next arc of Solo Leveling, which will seemingly start next episode, or as I said, will be the primary crux of Season 3 of Solo Leveling, the Jeju Island arc, where the 4th raid of Jeju Island is scheduled to take place between the Hunters Guilds of Korea as well as this Hunters Guild of Japan. This very much being the biggest test so far that our boy Jin-Woo will face, as these bugs, while they are just bugs, are very much the strongest, seemingly the strongest monsters that any hunter has faced so far in our story, as they are so strong that the Korean Hunters Association over the last 10 years has not been able to defeat them and close this portal. As well, something that I really love about Solo Leveling is its world building. The fact that there are Hunters Associations within every single country in the world. We've already seen this teased with the Hunters Association in America, and now the Hunters Association in Japan, as we are actually introduced to hunters from Japan. I absolutely love this. I love how big the kind of world of Solo Leveling is. In many ways, it kind of reminds me of My Hero Academia and the many hero factions within the different countries throughout the world, and how the author can very much introduce these characters into like different, sections of our story, and how the different hunters from the different parts of the world have different powers, they do things differently, they have different strengths and stuff. I just think it's really cool, and it makes for a really cool, complete kind of world building story. This anime has really surprised me, and it has turned out to be way better than what I thought it originally would be. This kind of OP main character anime, putting a twist on like trapped in a video game, fantasy, kind of isekai-esque, kind of these genres. It has very much taken all of those genres, turned them on their head, and for a very unique, cool story with obviously insane action scenes, insane animations, and so far it has been one of my favorite anime to come out in the last few years, and could easily be the best anime of 2025 when this year is all said and done. As always though, guys, with these videos, these are just my thoughts and opinions, so feel free to let me know yours in the comment section down below. As well, if you did enjoy this video or you learned something new, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, as that is the easiest way to support me, and it really does go a long way in putting these videos into the algorithm. If you enjoyed this video, then why don't you check out some of my other Solo Leveling and anime content on screen now, and as always, I hope to see you in the next one. Until next time, stay safe out there, guys. Peace, love, Adu.